that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I never kissed the rain. Ice runs in my veins. Won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay empowered for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. I send the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. never look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Hooah! All right, happy Tuesday, January 20th. It is the evening live stream. We're going to talk about GameStop. Maybe we'll talk about Hycroft tonight. I want to go over, why do I keep using the word speculative? Man, there are a lot of cult members, and I don't mean that derogatorily, but there are a lot of people mad when Tony Denaro says he is long and bullish on GameStop, but still uses the word speculative. So if you will allow me a moment of grace to explain why I do that, we'll go over that tonight. But first, let me talk about GameStop and the insider buys. Let's get the technical stuff out of the way. Insider buys are always bullish to me, almost always, unless the company is in a shambles, which this company is not. I like to see what we're seeing right here, but I'm going to try and go through it in 1 or 2 minutes so I have something to clip and put a video on the feed after we're done with the live stream for whoever doesn't want to hang out for a few hours tonight. So GameStop moving up and after hours tonight as multiple insiders disclose that they have added to their positions with purchases using their own money. GameStop now up after hours 3% to $21.75 after reaching a high right after the market closed and these filings hit the news feed. It went up to $22.15. We'll see what happens the rest of this week. It's good, in my view, to have this in a no news cycle while we're waiting for the Q4 results, and especially since Bitcoin is getting beaten down a little bit today. Here's what we got, the bullish news. And just so we're clear, I'm long GameStop. I own shares purchased in the 20s, 2015, 2065. I'm just barely in the green. But that's fine because I have a long-term bullish bet and I consider myself a swing trader. This is not a buy and hold forever channel. Let's just get that straight. I like to buy when I think it's relatively cheap and when I think there is some upside edge. And I like the balance sheet at GameStop, and I believe that Ryan Cohen is trying to do the right things to improve margins, to cut expenses. He's loaded up the balance sheet with a lot of cash. And for me, my primary reason I am long is whatever timeline he is on, whether that's 6 months, a year, 24 months, I don't know. I think that cash on the balance sheet provides the company some interesting optionality to transform the company into something different. Why is that speculative for me? Why do I keep on insisting on using that word? Because unlike others who think that their due diligence is infallible, I understand that we can not predict the future with absolute certainty. It's okay to be bullish. It's okay to be positive. I am too. But when you're on YouTube and you're putting your views out there and then something doesn't go the way we expected because some CEO or the market made a decision that we weren't anticipating, then people they often look for someone to blame instead of taking accountability for their own decisions. And so I'm going to use words like speculative. If I can't give you a discounted cash flow analysis based on company disclosed projections of revenue and earnings, then, you know, I'm out here winging it just like you guys, based on gut and based on feel and based on, a little bit of hope. I don't have a defensible argument other than I trust Ryan Cohen to do the right things. And he's setting up a lot of pieces on the board, which to me appear bullish. I can't guarantee an outcome. I'm not going to promise you anything. And until the company can provide some guidance, or until we have more quarters showing continuing improvement, that's what I do. I'm going to give myself a little bit of an out because of the blaming ninnies out there, the people that want to blame everybody else instead of taking responsibility. And believe me, if you got death threats from both the bulls and the bears for the same DD, while you're long the stock, you'd use the word speculative too. If you had 4 or 5 years of people wanting to blame you for their choices, you'd understand what it's like to be in this seat. I'm not just some faceless, nameless person on Twitter. I'm trying to provide you guys usable information, rational analysis, not based on hope, not based on hype, not based on emotion, but through some rational analysis. I am a value investor. I love blue chip stocks with growing revenues and growing earnings, a long history of them. But I also like speculative stocks. And these are the ones where we don't have all the information, but we take the best information we have available and we go with our gut and we make a bet. Sometimes we're right. And if we're right, we get some outsized gains and we beat the index. And if we're wrong, we get punished. And my plan is buy when I think that the risk is manageable, when the price is at a low for that period, and sell into run-ups. And unless the news is so good that I should not sell, just let it keep running. Hycroft being a good example of that right now. So that's why I use the word speculative. It's not that he's secretly trying to be bearish. No, God damn it. How much more plain do I need to be that I am long the stock? I've been long the stock since November, after selling in that run up to $30 or whatever it was back in the day, $33.02. I guess I've been long since June. 2161 was my first entry. Small position. I've been going heavier. You can see a lot more frequency on the buys as we test this demand zone. 2020, 2125, 2065, 2034, 2020, 2015. I don't know why these people think that I'm secretly a bear. It's the most utter cultish nonsense bullshit that I have ever seen. And it doesn't just happen in GameStop, you guys. It happens in other tickers that I'm long on too. When you try and provide people a non-emotional, reasonable, finance-based analysis, not couched in hopium and nonsense, they get angry at you, even when you tell them you're long. I don't get it. There's something wrong with some people out there. Moving on. What do we have here? Alan Attal bought 12,000 shares at $20.89. He now owns 584,000 shares. This was a purchase date of January 20th. We also have Ryan Cohen adding to his position today. He now owns 41.5 million shares of GameStop, and the note of interest down here is at the bottom. On January 20th, he purchased 500,000 shares at an average price of $21.11 in multiple transactions at prices ranging from $20.80 to $21.19. What does all that mean? What does all that mean? for me, when I see insiders buying, and I think that the company is relatively stable, when I see insiders buying like on a GNS, that to me is a trick. But when I see insiders buying especially huge amounts of money like this on a company with a solid balance sheet and in the process of transforming their earnings and proposing a incentive award package for the CEO, it makes me think that the insiders truly believe in this company. And it is my hope that these buys act to kind of cement a floor here. We know stocks get manipulated. We know shorts are going to try and attack GameStop. But I think fellow long investors like me can take some comfort in seeing the insiders with their own cash buying these massive amount of shares at this level. What does this mean? What else does this mean? What I said in the Discord after the market closes is these guys also are not allowed to buy if they have any material non-public information. So in my view, this means there is no imminent deal. There's no imminent acquisition. That doesn't change my belief that they have ideas, they have plans, that they believe in the future of this company and that they are here for the long term, these executives. That's my bull thesis. Yes, you could talk about earnings. Yes, you could talk about collectibles. Yes, you could talk about improving margins. For me, I want to see a few more quarters of continued improvement. I also know the company is cutting stores, over 500 now, 470 in the US plus 38 in New Zealand. That's going to impact revenues, but hopefully improve margins. But I need to see the data. That's going to take a quarter or two. I want to see further growth in collectibles. I want to hear more about what they're doing with the power packs and the partnership with PSA. All exciting stuff, but we're all just guessing together, right? And I'm bullish on that stuff just like you guys are, but I have to recognize that there are people wanting to hold us here on YouTube accountable if we're wrong, even though we're just here sharing our thoughts just like you in the comments. We don't know any more than you do. We're just the ones brave enough to turn on a camera and talk about it. And I'll be damned if some dipshit is going to blame me because I had an opinion. So I'm going to use the word speculative. And if you don't like it, stick to the pumper channels. When I have a defendable thesis based on company disclosed revenue and earnings targets like every other company does, then I will talk about that. But right now it's just guesswork. I'm bullish. I'm long. I don't know what else to tell you. I own shares and warrants. All right. That is my talk. GameStop. Let me read your comments. And now that I got that out of the way, if you don't mind, I've had a headache for like the past 6 hours despite 4 Excedrin. So I'm going to pour myself a little bit of the Kentucky bourbon. Can I do that? Are we grown-ups here? Can Tony have one drink? Thank you. Maybe this will help finish it off. Anya says, because there is risk, right? And someone said in the chat on X, Anya, every stock is speculative. Every stock is speculative, but you don't hear me using that word on every stock, do you? Anya, you know, you're in the Discord. There are many plays that we don't, there are many plays in the Discord, which I put in there because I'm worried about people. Just because I'm long something doesn't mean I'm going to be right. If it is speculative, if I don't have a defendable case, if the risks are still many unknown, I'm going to say it's speculative. Make your own decision. Do your own DD. You could ride along with me on a long bet, and we win on most of those bets. Do we not, Anya? but I still use the word speculative on some of them in Discord, and I don't use the word speculative on others. It depends on the company and what is going on, how much we know. Cheers. Active rehab. Hopefully I answered your question about, does this mean we won't get a merger and acquisition anytime soon? I think in my view, and I could be wrong, if they know of anything imminent, active rehab, they can't be out there buying shares. That would be trading on inside information, right? I think we all agree that would be a common sense interpretation. It would be highly suspicious if they're out doing buys and then next week they announce a merger or acquisition. So they may have ideas, they may have plans, but there is nothing firm or imminent. I think that's the nicest way to say it. I think they do have plans. I think they do have ideas. It's okay with me if it's not imminent. I don't need a MOAS tomorrow. Anya says, maybe our warrants will be good. I do have some warrants, Anya. I don't have any options on GameStop. I just have shares and warrants. As you guys know, if you've tuned in or if you're in the Discord, I'm kind of looking at the March timeframe. No, between March and June kind of being my drop dead date to make some decision on warrants, because then the time decay really starts kicking in after June. But I still think we're okay on warrants. Give Ryan Cohen 5-6 months to see how the next couple quarters look and what other news they have, and cross our fingers that it's all good. And then we'll discuss that more as we approach June. That's kind of my thoughts. I don't plan on doing anything short term with the warrants other than just hold them and hope for good news. Anya says we miss out on a lot of the plays because of the risk. But on the other hand, we avoid a lot of the losers. Anya says you're much better at me than avoiding risk. I hope to share some risk analysis and risk containment tools with you guys. If I can ever just sit down and get the damn video finished, Anya. Actual tools that you guys can use. And there'll be plenty of people, and there always are people that have no interest in managing or mitigating the risk. That's fine. I don't want that to be my audience. I don't want my audience to be unmitigated risk takers. I want you to understand risk, manage it, have a plan for better or worse, and practice patience. Practice patience. Would one call Coke speculative? I mean, in general, no. Coke would not be speculative. What is it? KO? I mean, come on. I bet if we looked at the revenue and earnings historical, it would look just like this, huh? Plus they pay a dividend. There's no reason to call this speculative. There are times when tickers like this, blue chip companies, we might call them overvalued at the moment. And I might say in the Discord, let's wait for a pullback. But these are not speculative tickers, not at all. When you have growing earnings, growing revenues, you pay a dividend, and you have positive free cash flow, there's nothing speculative about that. Not only that, but management typically gives you some guidance. These are very well understood plays, very little speculative. The only thing you typically have is market or economic risk. Things are not specific to the company itself. Right now, we have a lot of GME company-specific risk, a lot of things that are unknown. Things that I'm still bullish on, but I'm just, like I said this morning on the live stream, some of these plays, we're just putting money down on black or red, and we watched red hit 5 times We're going to bet on black right now and see what the next roll looks like. The next spin of the wheel. Baby UFO says Ryan is way too smart to let 9 billion sit around forever doing nothing. I agree with you. I think, you know, I have gone in and time-stamped some of my videos for the past couple years covering GameStop. I don't recall that I have ever been negative about Ryan Cohen. I have documented with timestamps in some of my videos me being very positive about him even years ago. Although there were times where I shared my belief that the stock was going to go down because of performance on revenue and earnings and expenses. But, you know, that all shifted, a year ago? All the debt's paid off. They have almost $9 billion in cash on the balance sheet, and they have flipped everything positive operationally, even though it's not really where we'd like to see it in terms of operating income, but it's positive. That the bleeding is done, in my opinion, and according to Ryan Cohen too. So I'm going to sit back and let him figure out what is the right use and the right timing to use that cash, baby UFO. And I've seen the bears today on Reddit. They're like, they are literally in shambles. They don't understand. Why is Ryan Cohen buying the stock? This is a trick. Come on. Do you really believe that? Or are you just mad because your puts just got wrecked? The dude owns 41.5 million shares now. He just bought 500,000 more shares at $20. I mean, you got to really be out there to think that he's just trying to trick people. I'm not going to say in all of the multiverse of possibilities that is impossible. It just seems highly improbable, highly unlikely, and I don't subscribe to that belief. I prefer to believe in the good of people until they show me otherwise. Hazel Allen says Cohen has been silently busy setting something up. That is my belief. I'm right there with you. I know the bears are going to make fun of me for believing in Ryan Cohen, but you know, that's their prerogative. I don't ask anybody to agree with me. I understand how to value GameStop. I've done some valuations based on DCF and some of the parts, not hopium valuations. I know I had a long discussion with someone on today on X. He's like, I don't even understand why you're calling this speculative. The company has no debt. Why do people still think GameStop has no debt, you guys? GameStop has $4.1 billion in debt. I recognize that. I know what the net cash of the company is. I know what the book value of the company is. When you look at net cash and divide that by the shares outstanding, the book value per share is $11.84, give or take a couple pennies. I understand this play. I've analyzed it more times than most of you. I can see the trajectory on earnings. I can see the trajectory on SG&A. Yes, we all agree on that. We all can see it. We also can see that massive store closures are coming, and we don't know for sure when that's going to stop. What's the plan? Is he over the next 12 or 24 months going to close down all the stores? Are we going to end up with only 500 stores? What is the plan? No one knows. I'm not infallible. I would humbly ask you, to consider that maybe you're not infallible either. None of us know. It's okay to have a theory, but don't get mad at me because I'm not willing to go on the record supporting your theory. Just be content that I am long and bullish and that I think Ryan Cohen has the right intentions for the cash. I'm hopeful that there is some yet to be revealed plan with PSA, more than we know about. And that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. I don't need to talk about other stuff because then I'd be making up a narrative. I heard some dummy on another YouTube channel say, White and Case just valued the company at $100 billion. Come on, man. That's some fucking bullshit. They hired a compensation legal firm to help draft Ryan Cohen's incentive award plan. And they set up 9 tranches between, what was it, 20 billion and 100 billion. That did not value the company at $100 billion. This is how people lie to you in plain sight. They're doing all the wrong things while people are watching. They are up front, just blatant lying to you. The GameStop pumpers. White and Case valued the company at $100 billion. Horse shit. Ryan Cohen and management, the board, set up some tranches of where they think they can drive the company to. Whether or not they can do that is to be determined in the next 10 years. I'd love to see them do it. White and Case helped them draft the legal documents. A fucking law firm did not set a valuation for the company. I want you guys to listen carefully who is giving you information out there and who's just making shit up. Because that pumper narrative is very dangerous. It's okay to say, I'm bullish because Ryan Cohen wants to achieve $100 billion market cap. It's okay to say that. But to say that a law firm valued the company at $100 billion, I'm not even mincing words here. That is what was said. It's horseshit. I don't want to really talk about AMC today, baby UFO. We had a long talk about AMC in the morning live stream, breaking down everything that I think is going to happen in the next 3 months. If you really want to catch up on the AMC, go watch the morning live stream. I don't want to repeat it all tonight. Just want to talk about GameStop tonight, maybe a little bit of Hycroft. Hycroft, $43 was the high today. Can you even believe that shit? Closed the day up 23.5%. After hours, holy fuck, $45.75. I think my friend Checkmate was a little crazy posting that he bought $50 calls. This dude's about to make a fucking mint if this thing keeps going up. Let's go. Let's go, Hycroft. And that just goes to show you what happens when people are negative for no reason because they don't understand the timing. They don't have the right time frame. They don't have the right timeline. And they only want to believe in their narrative. They think their narrative is infallible. You know how many GameStop people have been ridiculing Hycroft, ridiculing AMC for buying Hycroft? AMC is now up more than 100% on their original investment in Hycroft, counting the warrants that they still own. They're up over $35 million right now. Hycroft is in fantastic shape. Anybody who bought it at $1.65, what's the percentage gain from $1.65 to $45? And you're going to sit there and still try and bad talk Hycroft? Your bias is clearly visible, that you're not honest and you have no integrity. You're not honest and you have no integrity. I called Hycroft a speculative trade for 3 years. I said, understand the timeline. You gotta wait for them to get close to publishing that technical report or for gold and silver prices to improve. Well, guess where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Guess where we're at. And what else did we have with Hycroft? We had insider buys. Eric Spratt. when someone can only analyze stocks and tell you that one stock is the only one to buy and everything else is horseshit, you are dealing with some sort of cult hysteria that should be very scary. I want you to have a diversified portfolio in different sectors, different risk levels, and not put all your eggs in one basket. If you want to ignore that and do whatever you want to do, then go ahead. I'm not going to try and talk you out of it, but this is not a channel where we tell you put everything in one stock. Yeah, Anya, Sprite has to be up an amazing amount. Let's look at that Hycroft chart. Unfucking believable. Look at this. $1.87 in March. $43. If we add after hours, $46.19. Oh my gosh. And people want to shit talk this stock. Now, someone asked me, what do you think? You know, is this the new floor for Hycroft? I don't know. I'm just sitting back in wonderment. I'm long SLV. I told y'all when I went long Hycroft after the last earnings that I became a believer that it was time to be long. If you're still long, God bless. As long as silver and gold keep moving up, Hycroft will probably keep moving up. What we have coming up in this ticker is an updated resource report. They're going to update us on measured, indicated, and inferred based on their latest drilling results. And then we will get, hopefully in Q1, a technical report with economics. And we're going to find out everything we need to know about the next couple years for Hycroft. Yes, it is true. They're still not mining. Yes, it is true. Probably a couple years away from mining. Yes, it is true. They're probably going to need to spend up to $1 billion building a milling plant. It's still speculative. I don't know what that technical report's going to say. But enjoy the run. The one thing I can tell you is the same thing we're talking about GameStop right now. Insiders are buying Hycroft. For me, I mean, Eric Sprott knows a hell of a lot more than I do. If he's still buying, I don't know what more bullish signal you want. Don't worry about what I think. Don't worry about what I think. Anya, thank you. She said the percentage gain from $1.65 to $45 is 2,727%. Meanwhile, you got these GameStop cult leaders been telling you don't invest in Hycroft. See what happens when you listen to dipshits? I would never tell you don't invest in Hycroft, don't invest in GameStop, don't invest in this. You do what you want based on your DD. This is... These people telling you only buy one stock are dangerous. They're dangerous. They are dangerous to your portfolio. They're dangerous to your gains. Meanwhile, in the same time frame, what has GameStop done? Again, I'm long GameStop. I'm buying it right now, but GameStop's been flat. This stock's up 2,700%. Is it too late? Gabe says, I don't know, Gabe. Same comment last time you asked that question. Where do you think silver and gold are going? That's your only question. I can't predict the future. I am long SLV. I'm still long. It's at 85. It's up almost 100% from when I bought. I'm still bullish on gold and silver until I have a reason not to be. Hycroft, like I said, there are some big news items coming out that are going to be pivot points one inflection points, if you will, one way or the other for Hycroft, the resource update in the technical report with timeline, schedule, economics. I don't know what's in those reports. I think the technical report is going to be bullish. Sorry, I think the resource update is going to be bullish. They're going to increase the measured, indicated, and inferred. They're going to increase their expectation of how much gold and silver lie under the ground. Did y'all see Diane Garrett on Charles Payne today, by the way? Hat tip to Diane Garrett and Charles Payne for a little bit of extra press on Hycroft mining. I think that the resource update is going to be bullish. I don't know about the technical report, how the market is going to take that, because I don't know what's in it. What are people going to be dismayed to learn that it's going to take 2-3 years to get into mining and $1 billion? I don't know. Or is gold and silver going to keep moving up so much that it doesn't matter? Doesn't matter. I don't know. So the only answer that you need to think about is, what do you think is going to happen with gold or silver, in my opinion? And then you can know what to do with Hycroft. But you have some company-specific risk to factor in. The technical report. The bulls obviously think that, it's just going to be a speed bump on the path to bigger gains, and maybe it will be. I can't tell you that for sure. Alfredo says AMC can go to $43 just like Hycroft before Adam dilutes. I mean, AMC could go up if Roaring Kitty would come back. Do you guys think right now is a good time for Roaring Kitty to come back with Ryan Cohen making buys, the balance sheet looking spiffy, the stock near the lows that it's been, for the past, couple years? I mean, hello, Keith. Sure would be nice. Sure would be nice. And if GameStop runs, AMC could run with it, just like happened in 2024. I'd take some of that. I'm sure some of y'all would too. But AMC, look, they need to fix the balance sheet. So if it runs, just like Ryan Cohen's done 3 times, if GameStop runs, he sells some stock or some bonds. If AMC runs, they're going to sell shares. I mean, you can count on that. So it's going to come down to timing. I'm not predicting any AMC run unless Roaring Kitty comes back. But if it runs, I want you to have some common sense about it. Anya says there is a Sprott article worth reading. Eric Sprott's shocking portfolio 2025 yearly wrap up. Thank you, Anya. I'll try and share that in the community tab after we're done here. Calm Down Jack says Hycroft, I feel like, goes up to 120 like GME did. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. Jersey Recycler says, do you think if GME gets going, it'll bring AMC along for the ride? Yes, I just touched on that. I do. I do think that if GameStop gets moving, or Roaring Kitty comes back, or people just get excited about the insider buys, if GameStop moves, AMC often moves with it. But I know the company will sell shares into run-ups, so just keep that in the back of your mind. They've been very clear, like we were talking about this morning. They've been very clear, AMC, that they will use every opportunity to improve liquidity and reduce debt on the balance sheet. And I want you to understand, reading between the lines, what that means. That's not being bearish. That's not trying to scare you out of play. That's not being negative. That is telling you what management said recently and every quarter for the last 4 years. What does that mean? What does that mean? We will use every opportunity to improve liquidity every resource at our disposal to improve liquidity and reduce debt on the balance sheet. Learn to read between the lines. Calm Down Jack says, I feel like Kitty would come when people are a little more scared. I mean, that's fair. Last time he came in at 9 when it had just bounced off of $9.99. But am I correct in remembering that his cost basis was way higher than $10? Wasn't his cost basis in that last run up like $20 or something? Does RK need to do an 8K filing if he buys? I mean, if he goes over a certain percentage of ownership, he does. Gorilla Grodd says he's got some GME warrants. All right. Me too. Me too. Scott says 2137. I'm going to look back here. I did not buy at $9.99, but let's see, where did I buy? I bought at $29.70. I could have been a little quicker on the draw here. You guys know I had bet somebody that GameStop would test under $10. I won that bet. That's not me being negative. That was just me reading the financials in the chart. I won that bet. I should have bought as soon as I saw 2 or 3 days of positive momentum. These couple red candles scared me a little bit. And then the next day, whoop, it went for a tizzy. And I still waited. Look, that was on 5.3. I didn't buy till 6.3. It was $29.70 at that point. Kind of dumb in retrospect. But I sold for 100% gain at $60. Most, but not all of my position. And then the next morning we got the dilution announcement, and I sold the rest at $48. So Keith Gill got a little bit better entry than me. I'm sure we would have all liked to buy in at $9.95. I will try and be better next time. I've been trying to buy every time we get down here close to this demand zone. I've been trying to be better. Should have been better then, but we still made out good. We made out good. We made out better than the people who laugh at me. Oh, you bought at 29. Yeah, but I sold at 60, motherfuckers. You're now down, You bought at 29, 30, 40, 45, and now it's at 21. I've sold twice since then. Sold here at $33, bought at 21. Just buy low, sell high. It's really simple on this channel. Really simple. Always be taking profits. Jersey says, if AMC does run a bit, I will certainly keep a tight stop and just ride it. Yeah, I like the trailing stop loss in that scenario. Also like taking profits in brackets. I have said in the Discord and on evening live streams that my New Year's resolution is to try and be better at having brackets and not just when I take an entry into a trade, I've already kind of pre-identified my exit. And I need to get better on not making that a full exit. If the thing is still running, let it run. Take some profits off, let the rest run. I did fine last year, but I could have done better if I would have let some of the winners run a little bit longer. So that is my self-improvement goal for this year, to not be such a risk manager that you take everything off. When you got a runner, let it run. But take some off, right? I should have been more like the 2024 me. Sell some at 60, but not all. I got wrecked, The next day, the company announced dilution, and I had to sell the remainder for $12 less. That kind of stung, but I still came out fine. I need to get back into more of doing that this year. Selling brackets and then hope for the best. Active Rehab says if Ryan Cohen's payment plan goes through and the warrants go through and the bond people get paid in shares, then GME won't have much dilution to offer. I'm going to come back to that in 1 second. Hang on 1 second. All right, I'm back. Get out of there, Clint. All right, the question was if Ryan's payment plan goes through and the warrants go through and the bond people get paid. Yes, there is some dilution overhang from convertibles and warrants. And I think, if the float never increased, what did we calculate that to get that 100 billion market cap, the share price would need to be like $220, something like that. But if you factor in all the potential dilution, the price drops down into the low hundreds to get that same market cap. And yeah, for sure, the convertibles and the warrants would be adding to the float. And that is a little bit of dilution overhang that's going to tend to drag or slow down the upward movement of the price. So for Ryan to have such lofty goals, he's got to have a good plan. He's got to have a good idea, right? You don't just make up these numbers out of nowhere. If you're helping the board craft a reward program for yourself, you must have a 10-year plan laid out in your brain, right? One would think of how you can grow the company. I get it. He could just do a little improvement and he could accumulate EBITDA a little bit by little bit, that cumulative EBITDA. But market cap doesn't grow without a major transformation in earnings. And especially when you add in all that dilution. I think he's got a plan. We'll have to see if he can execute on it. Anya says, my New Year's resolution is to start small, but remember to add as it runs up. I like that plan, Anya. That is often a plan advocated by experts. Lean into runners. Nothing wrong with that. I also like to, if I really like my DD, I'm not talking hopium DD here. If I really like my DD, I will also add in larger size as something is falling, but I'm not doing that on troubled stocks. I'm doing that on relatively stable companies that are experiencing some momentary disconnect, like Webull, for example. I think Webull is having some disconnect with the market. At least that is my hope and my theory. And if it goes down a little more, I'll buy a little more, probably in larger size. And Railtown too, RLAIF. I've done 90% of my Railtown purchases in the last 2 months, the last month. Jersey says, have you been trading any momentum stocks intraday? I am trading what I call swing trade stocks, Jersey, but they haven't been moving fast enough for me to be out of them in a day or two. The most recent, very speculative momentum trade that I entered this morning was Finger, FNGR. Not a recommendation for you to buy it. Not a recommendation of the company. Financials are a bit of a mess. They're going to need to dilute. But the last time it got promoted on social media, it ran from $1 to $5. You know, I kind of like the odds here. I bought it today at $1.09. Could it go to 90 cents, 80 cents, 50 cents if they dilute here or announce a reverse split? Absolutely. This is a horrible speculative play based on nothing but gut feel. And I could be completely wrong here. I could get obliterated if they announce a reverse split or a dilution. But knowing who is promoting this stock and knowing management is engaged with them, it is my belief that there is a better than 50% chance that they will promote the stock before dilution. So that, you know, I put a little bit down today. Last time this lasted from December till April, till it got promoted and ran. So I'm just going very gingerly. I might be going gingerly into it for months, not trying to accumulate a massive position at $1.09. Last time I bought it here, I got it at $1.30 and then $1.08. The low was 103. $1.09 today. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. If you like speculative retail stocks with a history of being pumped, check out FNGR. There is nothing else redeeming I can say about it. Not one thing. If it runs, it's because it was being paid to be promoted. And let's see what they do. Zaddy says, do you see unmitigated boning of GME tomorrow? I touched on that at the beginning of this live stream. Yeah, I mean, we know shorts try and manipulate stocks. We know that they try and push it down. We know that the bondholders want volatility. The bondholders make their money off of volatility. Maybe Ryan Cohen here injects some volatility in the stock. Maybe this is the move that the lenders have been waiting for. Maybe we get a move up and then we get a move down. I don't know. I am not interpreting this buy as something that is going to skyrocket the stock. What I am interpreting it as is kind of cementing the floor. Can y'all see where I'm coming from that? An insider buy, when you have this much turmoil going on, not to be negative, but Bitcoin is at 89,000. This is going to be a loss on GameStop's Q4. They're going to announce over 500 store closures globally. There's a bit of turmoil going on. I don't know, what good news they might have to offset that. But we got insider buys. That is generally bullish. It's bullish in my book, 100%. Maybe we get a little bit of volatility here to help those lenders out. Remember our long discussion about lenders this morning? So, I want to see some real tangible company news related to transformation or earnings or margin improvement. We're just not going to get that until the next earnings or two. But I do think that this helps cement the floor. It makes me feel better at my purchases right around this same level. All of my purchases for this swing have been right around this level. Will they try and push it down? Sure they will. The bears are in shambles right now. They're going to be mad. They're going to try and short it. Of course they will. I don't care. I'm not worried about if it's trading at $21 or $19.50. The balance sheet's fine. The company has plenty of liquidity. The balance sheet's solvent. The operations, although not turning out as much cash as I would like, and stores are declining. The margins are improving and the stores are profitable. I mean, there's a mixed basket here that you can't really dislike unless you are just determined to be negative. And I am not determined to be negative, but there will be some bears that try and attack this thing. Of course there will. And even if there's no bears, if the stock runs up, the bond traders are going to fuck around with it. They're going to fuck around with it. That's just how they do. They're here for the volatility. Anya says, how many times has Finger repeated that cycle? Anya, Finger has been doing the pump and dump cycle since at least 2023. Cancel Bubble. How you doing? What's my thoughts on Netflix and Warner Brothers? I'm not real happy about Netflix buying Warner Brothers. They made an all-cash offer now. They're probably going to win, but then they have regulatory hurdles to jump through. I'd really like to see them not get Warner Brothers. That's just me. I'm not a fan of Netflix. I don't believe anything they say about theatrical window. But I don't trade that stock. Whether or not you should trade it or not, I don't know. I don't follow the stock. I don't trade it. I've traded a lot of entertainment stocks, not that one. Anya says, do you trust Netflix? There you go, Anya. I'm answering your questions before I even read them. I do not trust them. Gabe says, how do you know it is insider buys? Which ticker are we talking about, Gabe? Could the next GME run be limited by the convertible in the 30 conversion price? Absolutely. Yes, there is what we call dilution overhang due to the convertible bonds at the $28, $29 range and the warrants at $32. That will act as a natural speed bump, a slowdown, whatever you want to call it. That is what dilution overhang is. The market will, as the price approaches the conversion price of the bonds or the exercise price of the warrants, it's not factored in right now. We are way far away from bonds being converted or warrants being exercised. There is no dilution concerns affecting the price at $21. As you start pushing up to those levels or above, it will be factored in. It will slow down the momentum. So we need some news that screams right through that. We need some news that is so compelling that we scream right through it. And it can happen. You can look at Cinemark. They had convertible notes. They screamed right through their conversion price. They went 2x the conversion price. And still, by the way, I might add, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, no one converted. 2x the conversion price. No one converted until when? The maturity date. The no convert early theorem. No early exercise. Basics of finance. Even my kid in college knows that one. Even though people on social media they'll go to their grave telling me I'm wrong. I mean, if GameStop ran to $100, yeah, you're gonna have conversion. You're gonna have warrants exercise. Absolutely. When theta becomes so irrelevant to the price of a bond or a warrant that and the bond or warrant owners think that the price is temporary, they're gonna convert. They're gonna exercise. They're gonna sell whatever they got to do to lock in their profits. But under normal price movement, we should not expect early conversion of bonds, and we should not expect early exercise of warrants until close to the maturity date, assuming that the price is above the conversion or exercise price. Gabe says, how do we know about the insider buys? There were forms filed, Gabe. We had a Schedule 13D amendment today from Ryan Cohen with the footnote number here. Footnote number 5 saying that on January 20th, he bought 500,000 shares. And then we had a Form 4 from Alan Attal disclosing a buy of 12,000 shares. You can find these on the SEC Edgar website. Search for GameStop under company search. The 13D amendment is right here. And then over here, always check this other tab, ownership disclosures, because the Form 4s are over here, not over here, for whatever reason. Oh, this is excluding insider transactions. So you got to go over here to see those. Anyways, hope that helps. This website, I have it on every device. I have companies that I'm actively following. I have active tabs open on my phone, my iPad, my computer. And before market open and after market close, I'm F5 in that shit. Ding, 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 ding. Any updates, especially when I'm on 8K watch. So if you see me updating Twitter real quick, how did he know that happened? I'm F5 in the hell out of that shit. Before market open and after market close. Anya says, in the midnight hour, we buy more, more, more. Anya wanted me to play some Billy Idol. I said, I can't do that. I got to earn my 2 shekels from YouTube. Can't be playing Billy Idol. Who in here is old enough to remember the song More, More, More? Billy Idol. What was the name of that album, Anya? White Wedding was on that album. I had the fucking LP. I can't remember the name of the album. If it was White Wedding. Nice day for a white wedding. Is that the same song? White Wedding, more, no, are those two different songs? Anya says, I was thinking the song by Andrea True. Never heard of her. Never heard of her, Anya. Calm down, Jack says, I know some smart people who are getting Netflix. Probably a good place to start accumulating, but I don't know. Look, Netflix has been ridiculously on fire. I'm not trying to badmouth Netflix. There's not much to dislike other than the fact that they drive me nuts trying to kill the movie industry. So I'm just coming from a place of principle. But look at this. I mean, people have been mad at Netflix because of AMC since 2021. It was at $16. It's at $87 right now. Imagine if you had just said, I'm going to buy Netflix. Fuck it. You're up 5-6x. They have a absolute metric ton of free cash flow. Netflix, you're going to be astounded. You're going to be blown away. 1.8 billion of free cash flow per quarter. 2.6 billion of free cash flow. It's just sick. Revenue up and to the right. There's nothing to dislike here. Net income has been on a little bit of a downtrend for the past couple quarters. So that's why people are starting to say, hey, maybe it's time. Earnings per share, a little bit of a downtick. Free cash flow, a little bit of a downtick. That comes down to your judgment. Do you think the downtick The revenue's still going up, but the net income is going down. Is there a looming problem? That's what you got to analyze. I don't know. I don't follow the company close enough, but I know that they are in no problem. They've got $9 billion in cash. They are a cash printing machine in terms of free cash flow. Total assets, $55 billion. Total liabilities, $28 billion. You couldn't. Working capital, $2 billion. Shareholders' equity, $26 billion. I mean, God love them. What's to hate here? They're killing it. But I just won't buy them out of principle. I don't want them to kill the movie industry, but they are. Anya says, you haven't mentioned ONDS tonight. We're going to talk about ONDS tomorrow in the morning live stream again. Anya, I wanted tonight just to be a group hug about GameStop, to reassure people I'm not a secret bear, to reassure people that when I use the word speculative on any ticker, and I use it on many, that's not some secret code word that I'm bearish. It just means I'm long the stock, but I don't really have a defensible thesis to tell you other than I'm looking at all of the puzzle pieces on the table, and I think we're going to put the puzzle together, but I can't guarantee it. That's all. That's all. I can't guarantee what's going to happen with GameStop, but I like the way the puzzle's coming together, and I hope some dipshit doesn't walk in from the other room and push all the pieces on the table. As long as me and Ryan can just sit here at the table and keep on figuring out where these pieces fit, we're going to be fine. I believe in Ryan Cohen. He's doing the right things. It's been a long road. There were some problems. I was honest with you when there were problems. But we're past that point. We're past that point. Unless someone asked me on X tonight, what is the bear story here? Why do they even hate GameStop? They hate Ryan Cohen. Just being blunt. I read what they post. They hate Ryan Cohen. They hate that he likes Trump. They hate that he doesn't communicate. I mean, I'm not thrilled that he doesn't communicate, but I factor that into my risk analysis, but I don't hate him for it. They think he has no plan. They think he's dumb. You know, it's the complete opposite of what I think. They don't give any credit to a liquid and solvent balance sheet or the turnaround plan on margins, the reduction on SG&A. They just hate. And look, I've seen that play out in other stocks where people hate stuff to the point where they will cut off their nose to spite their face. Hycroft, looking at you. Look at all the bears that were mad at Hycroft for the last 3 years. And they are now missing out on a 2,700% run up. I don't get the people that are hateful of Ryan Cohen. Could I be wrong? Yes, I'm not so narcissistic that I think I'm guaranteed to be right. I'm not going to sit here and call you guys future millionaires. I understand I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I'm more bullish than I'm worried. Let's put it that way. This is the fairest way to say it. I'm more bullish than I'm worried. And you guys know, if you have followed me on the AMC journey, when I become more worried than bullish, I will tell you that. And you're not going to like it. But I always try and be as honest and transparent as I can. Right now, I'm more bullish than worried on GameStop. I'm more bullish than worried. Is all the risk out of the play? No. I'm more bullish than worried, though. I am not uncertain. Kenneth says, did GameStop hit the bottom and is it time to load more? I've been buying in what I have identified as the demand zone. That's all I can tell you. This green demand zone here. Come on, man. Every time we get down close to this, I've been buying. Does that guarantee that it's the bottom? No. I don't think I can predict the future with absolute certainty. What if the market crashes 40% tomorrow? What if we declare war on Greenland? I mean, I don't know. But I do think that the insider buys help cement a floor right around where we were at. And that to me is bullish enough. Based on the information we know right now, that's enough. And we'll see what happens. I'm happy I've been buying for months now. Every time we get these lows. Gorilla Garage says, wait, Ryan likes Trump. I did not know that. Are these the people that loved Ryan? Yes, he was. Don't you remember that tweet where he posted Trump like 150 times? And this is not a political channel, but super stonk and Twitter lost their damn minds. If they were liberals or Democrats, they could not believe that their CEO betrayed them by advocating for Trump. Look, I don't analyze a CEO based on their political beliefs. Adam Aaron is a Democrat, so. Ryan Cohen is a Republican, so. I analyze how are they managing the company, how rational are their decisions considering the situation that the company's in. I don't care about their personal politics, but on Reddit, man, they are very liberal, very anti-Trump, and by extension, they're very anti-Ryan Cohen. It's the strangest thing to me to hate a CEO because of the political candidate that he supports. Very odd to me. Very odd. Baby UFO says, keep dry powder for any market shenanigans like that. Yeah, I think you should have dry powder available if there is a market correction. There'll be a lot of buying opportunities. I saw people on Twitter today saying they're out of anything exposed to the U.S. Bonds, stocks, treasuries, anything. Cash, gold, or silver. That's it. I mean, who knows? Who knows what our president does if he declares war on Greenland? Baby UFO says, tinfoil hats were decoding tweets and stuff. It is hilarious. It is funny. 665 times Jack says he posted Trump. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And there were people counting it and then decoding it. Kenneth says, futures market looks green. Will it be a green day tomorrow? If the futures are green, likely so. I was very worried over the weekend as we were looking at futures on Monday about how this market would behave. And for many stocks today ended up being an okay day. What did we end up at? The Dow down almost 2%, S&P down 2%, NASDAQ down 2.3%. I mean, not fantastic. Anya says, I never thought to connect that to politics. Never thought to connect GameStop to politics. I can tell you without a doubt that the GameStop haters hate Ryan Cohen because he likes Trump. Doesn't matter to me. But for whatever reason, no matter what he does, they're going to say, well, I don't care. He's MAGA, so fuck him. I think if you're that emotional that you're making decisions about a stock based on politics, you're probably going to end up making some bad decisions. Anya says, can I bring up one thing that may be political? Why did he send money from Venezuela to Qatar? I don't know, Anya. I'm not familiar with that news item. Calm Down Jack says, Bitcoin has definitely become political. Bitcoin is, for a long time, as far as I'm concerned, as manipulated as any other stock. Does anybody disagree? Remember people telling us, oh, you got to buy crypto because they can't manipulate that. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit, they can't manipulate it. This green line right here delineates GameStop's buy-in price at 106. We're at 89,000 right now. Each 10,000 under 106 is a $47 million loss for GameStop. So if it were trading at 86, that would be almost a $100 million loss for GameStop. Someone told me that people are making videos saying GameStop sold their Bitcoin or is prepping to sell their Bitcoin. I've seen that they're moving Bitcoin around within wallets on Coinbase. I don't have much opinion about that other than Ryan Cohen's going to do what he needs to do to manage risk at the company. Whether he buys, sells, or holds Bitcoin is, it's mostly irrelevant to me. I'm not a Bitcoin treasury maxi advocate. You know, if he wants to invest in it and let a little bit of gamble happen, fine. I probably, you guys know me, I wouldn't have done it at 106. I would have said, Ryan, be a little patient. Let's buy it below 85. But it is what it is. You know, he's got to decide how to manage our risk as shareholders and be a good steward of the money. So whatever he does, I just hope that everybody is okay with it, whether it's buy, hold, or sell. Is he buying Ryanair? Yeah, that is. I've been watching the Elon stuff and the Ryanair. That is some funny stuff. All right, good news is my headache has pretty much gone away as we have 2 sips of the Kentucky bourbon left here. Thanks again to my brother. Shout out to the Bourbon King for the Buffalo Trace gift over the Christmas holidays. What did he give me here? Buffalo Trace Sazerac Barrel Select. I need to find out if there's a bourbon collectors club here in Austin. He's in another city and he's in a club, and they travel all over the country and buy up these select bottles. That'd be a fun extra hobby. Then y'all could call me, the haters could call me he's a failed liquor collector. He's a failed alcoholic. I don't know. What would they call me? Anything that I try and add as a hobby, they say that I've failed at it. That's kind of funny. Anya says, is your house dry? You mean in terms of what? Alcohol? Or rain? What do we mean, Anya? Calm Down Jack says, I got Wendy's stock. Check it out. WEN might be a somewhat... I do like me a Wendy's Baconator. Calm down, Jack. Although I'm not in the cycle where I'm eating junk food. If you're in, well, I've been eating very healthy. Let's just say. It's that time of year where we try and eat. Oh, look at that nice pullback from $18 to $8. Anya says, what I think you mean, Anya, is my house dry like we don't drink alcohol in this house? No, we are not a dry household. Scarlett is not drinking right now. I was not drinking in 2025, although we're in a new year now, and I've relaxed my rules a little bit. But I've got to keep the calories within my daily allotment of my macros. Revenue on Wendy's has just been flat. Boring. We want to see up and to the right on this channel. Net income generally on a downtrend. Not super exciting. You're going to have to sell me on a good turnaround story. Margins are okay. 34% gross, 17% operating, 8% profit. Balance sheet. Declining cash position. That's worrisome. They have negative working capital and a positive shareholders' equity. Let's look down here. Negative working capital, negative 152 million shareholders' equity, positive 109 million. I mean, this is not the perfect investment for me. I can find better than this. I like me a Wendy's burger, and I like the fries, and I hope they do well. But this, for me, is not an investable stock. You got to really sell me on the turnaround story. Is management saying that they're going to dramatically increase earnings or revenue? If they are, leave me a comment when the live stream's over, and I'll take another look. But I'm not sold. It's not horrible, but it's not great. Active Rehab says, how many is left in the U.S. Gamestop? I think it was around just over 2,000 in December, and we got 500 closing, 470 in the U.S., 38 New Zealand. We're going to find out that it's 1,500 left. I mean, I don't just wave that off as meaningless. I know everybody else wants to just ignore it. I don't. But I try and look for the good in the bad. The bad is going to be revenues going to decline, and the bears are going to complain about it. I'll even complain about it. I'll complain about declining revenue is not a great sign of a healthy business. But the bright side of the flip side of the coin is if you can cut stores and improve SG&A and improve margins, then there's maybe a little phoenix that can rise out of the ashes. We'll see. What do I know? I mean, Ryan's not telling us anything, so we're all just left to guess. And I'm not going to assume that my guess is infallible and tell you you're going to be a rich millionaire. I'm going to wait to see demonstrated data. I can see the trends. Revenue declining, margins improving. I see it. Let's let a couple more quarters click through. Ryan and Alan are buying down here. So am I. Eric Sprott was buying Hycroft. That was good enough for Eric. Hycroft is soaring. Maybe this is a good sign for GameStop. I sure hope so. Wind moon sounds funny. I get it. I get it. We need a fast food healthy choice. Yeah, we do, Anya. Chipotle. Yeah, I mean they could be healthy. All right. 9:35. Hopefully y'all were entertained for an hour by a lot of buys here lately. Buy. No sells. All these people telling you I hate GameStop, fucking horseshit, nonsense, cult fucking members listening to dipshit cult leaders. They do not want you getting sensible analysis from a non-emotional trader. They don't want you to get it. So they're going to lie, cheat, and steal and tell you that I hate GameStop or I'm secretly presenting some narrative. What fucking narrative different do you need than I've been long the stock and buying it for months? Don't listen to these dipshits. It happens in every ticker. Every ticker I trade, same old dipshits, same old story, same old nonsense. A fool and their money is easily tricked into holding into a run-up. Not here. We're not tricked into holding into a run-up. We're going to buy low. We're going to sell high. We're going to lock in profits. Always be taking profits. Have a risk management plan. Stay diversified. Love you guys.
By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle